Hey everyone, it's another edition of Interludes Extra Presents Talk on Tuesdays. Oh my goodness. We are excited. We are blessed. And it is what? It's another exciting Tuesday, but it is the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. That's right. Yes. Many of you are traveling. Many of you are probably already where you want to be on this coming Thursday. I myself not traveling this year, but it's okay. It is the holiday season, and hopefully you guys are ready for what comes with that. And for us at Interludes Extra Presents Talk on Tuesday, that is great movies and great things to check out online. And so we're back with another edition of Interludes Extra Presents Talk on Tuesdays. And we're about to get started right now. It's another edition of Interlude Extra Presents Talk on Tuesdays. We are back. We are back. We are back. And of course, it is exciting to do another edition of it. And of course, one of our affiliate sponsors is KeySpot. Connect, share, and grow. Grow your small business or let people know that you are out here ready to go in business. Reach out to Cynthia McAllister. She is with KeySpot. And of course, we're excited and thank her so very much for being a part of our Interludes family. And of course, a DJ saved my life. Yeah, I got the shirt on tonight. And of course, we want to thank everyone for their purchase of the ebook. And of course, over this coming, well, I don't want to call it Black Friday anymore. I'm going to be calling it another color, like Maroon Friday. It'll be going on sale with a discount, and I'll let you guys know about those details a little bit later in the show. But scan here to get some more information about that. And of course, our Patreon page, join our community via Patreon today at patreon.com/interludes. And of course, it is wonderful, wonderful to do that. And of course, Mr. Springer is on traveling with us on this today because it's just before the Thanksgiving holiday. So he is doing his thing and wishing us love and peace. And of course, Coach Tony is actually coaching a basketball game, but what's going to end up happening, he'll drop in a little bit later. He says, I'm coming. And I'm looking at the phone. He's like, yeah. And I'm like, you shouldn't text me while I'm doing the show, but it's all good. He does what he does and we do what we do, which is always fun. I don't know. I like the weekends. I've been having some good weekends over the last couple of weeks. And of course, I want to wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving. A happy Thanksgiving. You could let us know where you're listening from or watching from in the chat. The plans for Thanksgiving for myself, I'm going to be going to a friend's house and checking some things out. And of course, for myself, I'm thinking about making some banana bread. I don't know. Do you all have that special dish that you like to make when you do Thanksgiving? Because I know I do. At first, when my mom was around, I used to like making pound cakes. She used to make them, and then I took on the mantle. I love baking, so that's my thing. I love doing the baking thing. But of course, there are other people that are excellent. They know how to make greens. They know how to make mac and cheese. They know how to make turkey. And I have gotten to the point where I really enjoy all the sides. Do I need the meat? Do I need the turkey? Maybe not really. And here's my thing. I might only eat turkey maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 times a year. And one of those times is Thanksgiving. So this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. Over the weekend, ladies and gentlemen, I got a chance to travel in town and go to what is called a Digital Business Mastery Conference. This was something that was done by, I believe the company is called Ronaldus. And my friend Carla Hill invited me to this event. And so we got a chance to hang out, and that's her. And here's the thing, we have been uh, knowing each other and talking with each other via Zoom for 2 years. And this was, yeah, a little over 2 years. And this is our very first time meeting in person. I'm like, oh my gosh, there you are. So anyway, that's what we did on this past weekend. And this was an awards dinner that I attended. And a lot of people that work and do things for the company, it's a learning company. They were giving out a lot of awards. And so it was kind of cool to be there and check that out. And then we got a chance to go to a place called the White Chocolate. I want to say the White Chocolate Factory because it sounds like the Cheesecake Factory, but it wasn't the White Chocolate Factory. If you have a great looking, what do you call that? If you have a great looking website, do you know that is attractive for folks to come and eat at your place? And we really had a good time. I had someone, and I think I did a selfie on this one because I kind of stretched my arm out to get us both. And then I had someone take a picture of us in front of the place right over here. But yeah, so it was really good meeting Carla for the very first time in person. And like I said, this was really a good time to, do our thing. And of course, just before the holidays. And of course, one thing about her, she literally just retired. She just retired from her, I think her HR job of 35 years, which is really, 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 really exciting. So I'm like, wow, that's really fun. But congratulations to Miss Carla Hill. I'm excited. And we got a chance to meet over the weekend, which is always fun. Oh my goodness. Now, I'm going to get into it because I know you guys are here for the review, but here's the thing. There were two movies that I really wanted to see that I did not get a chance to see because I was at the conference. And then also I was studying for something and I got to retake the test I'll tell you guys about that at another time. But definitely I was really fascinated with this whole thing with I would like to see a couple of films and two films that just got released over the weekend. One is called Wicked. Now, if you guys live in New York and some of you all have seen the New York play of Wicked, oh my goodness, you guys are really, really, really going to enjoy this particular film. And I heard some really good things about it because in the play, okay, Kristen Chivonowitz and Ida Menzel, they're the ones that made the two witches popular. And it's kind of based on the Wizard of Oz. I feel like it is kind of based on the Wizard of Oz. Here's the thing. I have never seen Wicked on Broadway. Anyone that lives in New York thinks if you've never seen this and you love Broadway shows, it is blasphemous that you have not seen Wicked on Broadway. And I believe this was on in Broadway for, I want to say, a good stretch of 6 to 8 years. It was on Broadway for a long time. For the one thing I will say, it's Tony Award winning. And of course, just the voices are just wonderful. And I think Ida Menzel is the one who played the green witch. But Glinda and all those things are now being reprised and now told in a film. This was really cool. At one of the releases of the film Wicked, you have Ida and Kristen now there with their counterparts. And who's starring in this? This is Cynthia Erivo. We love Cynthia Erivo. We've reviewed a couple of things she's been in. You guys recognize her from the film Harriet, as well as the Aretha series that came on A&E. And of course, the singer from, I want to say, Nickelodeon fame, Ariana Grande, and she's playing the Good Witch. And of course, there was a lot of color things that were happening that I saw in number one from the preview. And of course, looked like Cynthia was wearing green just about everywhere she went to promote this film. And so I was really excited to see it. And of course, don't forget the men. There are men in Wicked. One of my favorites, the original Fly, it is Jeff Goldblum. He plays the wizard who's fake. And then of course I'm looking at Jonathan, I think Jonathan Bailey. and he's in kind of like a love interest. And I'm like, okay, we got the men in here representing, doing our thing. But how many people are interested in seeing the film Wicked like I am? I've never seen the play. As long as I lived in New York, I've never seen the play, but I think, like I said, I've been hearing very, very good things about the film Wicked. And of course, with Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, I believe this, no, what, Ariana Grande has been acting since she was a preteen. So I feel like this is, and then she's singing too. This is a musical. This is probably like walking in the park for the both of them. So no big deal. So that is currently in theaters right now. Now, the next film that I really, really, really want to see is Gladiator 2. Now, I don't know about anyone else, but a lot of people are excited to see it because of Denzel Washington. But you guys do realize there's other folks that are in the film, right? He's more of a supporting cast and of course, this is a direct sequel to the original Gladiator that came out in, when was this? 2000. Won the Oscar for best actor. That was Russell Crowe. This is set, I think, about 15 years after this. And of course, Ridley Scott has come back to do his thing with Gladiator 2. And of course, yeah, there he is, the Oscar winner there. And of course, it's actually going to be centered around his son. And that is played by this gentleman right here, Paul Mescal, Lucis. There we go. And of course, Pedro Pascal. I think they're brothers. They're the ones that's going to be doing their thing in this particular film. I talked to people about this film. They saw it over the weekend. They loved it. They was like, Val, if you haven't seen it, you need to see it. I was thinking, do I need to rewatch the first Gladiator? That's always my first question when there's a sequel. And keep in mind, there's been 2 decades that have gone between the sequels. So the first one came out in 2000. We're now in 2024. So what is that? That's 24 years. So I say let's go check it out. But of course, one of my reasons for wanting to check it out is Denzel. Hello. So he is in the film and doing his thing. He plays, and they say that he plays a bad guy, but when Denzel was interviewed on a couple of shows, he says, no, Macaris, I think that's his name, Macaris, he's misunderstood. And I was like, that's probably the best way you can describe a person who is the villain or the antagonist. So, but anyway, Denzel it's in Gladiator 2. It came in number 2 at the box office, ladies and gentlemen. I think the numbers 112 for Wicked and 55 million for Gladiator. So, and there's Ridley Scott directing, Pascal just doing a great job. And like I said, I believe if you guys are major fans of the film, you guys are going to love it. I see Darren is in the chat. Thank you so very much. He says it's amazing. And probably he's talking about Denzel. He does an awesome job playing the the person, the misunderstood villain that's in Gladiator 2. But like I said, I really enjoyed it. And like I said, Russell Crowe won an Oscar for Best Actor in 2004 Gladiator. So, should Gladiator 2 be considered for awards? I think we should be checking those things out. Yeah, we should be checking those things out. And thank you so much for giving me your feedback on the film, because like I said, these are the 2 films that I'm going to be checking out, Wicked and Gladiator 2. So it is coming. And if you guys are planning to check it out, please let me know in the chat. And if you saw it over the weekend, say it was good or I didn't like it, it was too much fighting, too much blood and guts, whatever. But that's what we do here at Talk on Tuesdays. We talk about it and we let you guys know if we like it or if we don't like it. That's how it goes. Oh my goodness. And then of course I see Darren. Oh, Darren is at deck. He says Darren really brings the soberness to what would otherwise be a grand epic cartoon. Wow. Cartoon. I'm just thinking about the use of the words here, cartoon. That's an interesting. And of course, thank you so much for that, April. I mean, most definitely. But yeah, we would want to see it because of Denzel's portrayal in this. And of course, like I said, Ridley Scott, an excellent director, and he did the first one, the first Gladiator with Russell Crowe. And yes, and April says she's going to be going to see Gladiator. I'm excited you guys are going to check it out too. So I'll let you guys know in the chat or definitely in these, I want to call it Facebook and LinkedIn streets, that what we thought about Gladiator and Wicked. Now, I don't know if Coach Tony is going to take his granddaughter to see Wicked, but I think that would be fun if that could happen, you know? But definitely, that is what we got going on for that. And of course, it's now time to talk about the piano lesson. But before we do that, let's take a break, and then we're going to roll on back and get into it. The piano lesson, written by Pulitzer Prize and award-winning playwright August Wilson. We'll be right back after these messages. Like knowing exactly. How has it been literally going into your wellness lane and definitely talking about how people can go from, oh my gosh, my mind is everywhere, to focus, like knowing exactly what they need and how they need it?
One thing that I have noticed, we need to champion ourselves. That's why I focus on midlife women. A lot of times in midlife, that is a turning point, and we really need to champion ourselves to understand, no, we have a purpose. There's things in you that needs to be shared. And that is my mantra. That is my mission, because you need to know that you can win.
Please join her. Infuse the Focus Talks with Lakeisha. It streams every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central. So glad that you're able to come back and close out with us. Oh my goodness, that's one of our friends to the show, Lakeisha Mosley. I got a chance to interview her for the Interludes Extra podcast. We did it live, but then of course I've released the audio podcast for it as well. So that is what is going on with that. Oh my goodness, man, oh man. Well, the piano lesson, I mean, I don't know if you all have seen or heard about the piano lesson. The gentleman in the photo that you see right there is the award-winning playwright August Wilson. For, I want to say, well over 20 years, August Wilson wrote anywhere between 7 to 11 plays, a lot of them appearing on Broadway or off Broadway. And they've always been dramas, not necessarily musicals. They've always been dramas. One of the plays that I did see in person, actually out in California, was Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. I had no idea what I was looking at. And I believe at the time, Richard Larson was the lead actor for that particular play. And then I remember seeing was it not two guitars? I want to say not fences, two guitars. I'm sorry, two guitars when I was in college. And I think at that point it was Lawrence Fishburne. He had literally changed his name from Larry to Lawrence when he started working, and kind of did like a tour of that particular play. But what makes the piano lesson one of those plays that August really infected folks with, like the theme of it? He wrote a play, and it was always in a certain time frame, and it kind of was between, it was always set in a decade that depicted African American life and kind of some of the challenges of it. Now, I noticed this particular play was set in two eras, but mainly taking place in the year 1936. I'll let you know why that particular year is extremely special to me. But I was thinking, that's very interesting. But of course, the piano lesson has been done a couple of times. It's been done on Broadway, off Broadway. It's been done as a TV hallmark, and we'll see that in a little bit. But then right now, the new alliteration of the piano lesson is now a featured film. And of course, I think a lot of people don't remember, and I had to be reminded of this myself. Denzel Washington is one, award-winning actor who took on the challenge and said, "We are going to produce the plays of August Wilson, and we're going to bring them to the screen." Now, there's been other films and other August Wilson plays that have come to the screen, but not in a feature film way. And I was thinking, I wonder why not. And so it's kind of a family affair, as we all will see. But you know what? I am going to play the trailer, a little bit of the trailer. You guys can get a little bit of a sense of it. And if you've not seen the movie, I'm going to do a couple of spoilers, not too many. I'm going to do a couple of spoilers. So I'm just giving you guys a heads up. But if you actually would love to see the film, I say this trailer was probably whet your appetite for it. Let's take a look. I think I don't have sound.
You feel that?
There we go.
That's your family. That's your blood. Sometimes you be in trouble. They might be around to help you. Tell your mama to tell you about that piano. Ask her how them pictures got on there. You feel that? That's your family. That's your blood.
Wow. I don't know about you guys, but that particular, I want to call it the movement of when I saw that trailer a couple of months back, I was like, wow, that's very, very powerful. Now I see Coach is in the building. I see he's here. Mr. 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 Thompson, how are you this evening?
Oh man, I may have lost my voice a little bit just coming off of a big game tonight. Overtime loss at the buzzer by 2. Great game.
I'm sorry. Say that all over again. I did an accident. Go ahead.
I said, if my voice is not with you tonight, I apologize. Just walked out the gym. Great game. Proud of my girls. Still in my coach's gear here. And lost at the buzzer by 2. So proud of them. Real good game. But want to make sure I get back to you and Val, the voice. Check out this movie. Hey,
you know what?
I'm working harder than Tom Joyner used to work.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, because I let people know that you were coaching. So they were like, where is he? And I'm thinking, hey, he's coming, he's on his way. But definitely we just watched the trailer for the piano lesson.
Excuse me. One of the best parts was what you just played. I love that early scene when they're in the house, they're all singing the railroad song. Man, I love that. Them brothers was in harmony.
Oh yeah, that particular thing was really good. Now I was going into it, like I have to say this ensemble cast is really good. Now some of the people that were in the play that was done 2023 on Broadway was Tony nominated. I don't know if it won anything, but to me
That's
it's
what Dr. Mo was talking about.
right here. You got Malcolm with his dad, Denzel. You see that?
Yeah, that's
And
awesome.
this is his directorial debut.
And I thought they did just such a good job. I mean, but the older brother, man, he's something else. He's on playing with Denzel, I think, in the next generation. That brother, he's something else.
I know. And like I said, now this is a scene from the play. Samuel L. Jackson plays Doker and the uncle.
Yep.
And then, of course, John David Washington plays Boy Willie, one of the main characters. And I have to say, the conversation, the interviews that John David did, he said that his mom came to see him not once, not twice, but over 40 times and gave him notes. And he gave, and I think Latanya Richardson, who is Latanya Jackson, who is married to Samuel L. Jackson, was given specific instructions: do not direct John David and to tell him how you did Boy Willie back in the 80s when it was done back then. And I was like, wow, 40 times.
Hey, that's awesome. I mean, but Val, I love that. I was listening to an interview with Val Kilmer, and that's what he said. They asked him about his kids are now acting, and they said, well, what advice do you give them? He said, absolutely none. All I do is I tell them to go into auditions and think about the character and how you would envision playing them. And then the director will let you know whether they like it or not, because sometimes, remember when you and I were talking about, what's that movie with Kevin Hart? I can't think of the movie, but it was a movie. It was I want to say it was, the Brothers. I think it was the Brothers. They just redid the new one, and the director was saying sometimes they went off script and did what they had to do. But when he listened to it, it was perfect because they went off script and actually put some flame and some juice into the movie. But Washington, man, he got in that down south voice, the character, and you thought he was a slave for real. He was a hustler, but you thought he was a slave.
The movie opens, and also the play. Well, the movie opens in 1911
in Mississippi.
And of course, the one thing. Oh, also, these are the folks that was on Broadway. Danielle, who was in the Color Purple film, she was on the play on Broadway playing Bernice, and so Danielle did a great job on there. And then of course Charles S. Dutton. You remember the show Rock?
I know Charles Dutton. Hey, trust me, I know Charles Dutton, Chicago boy.
There you go. So there was a Hallmark Hall of Fame movie that was done called The Piano Lesson, based on the play. And of course, this was done in the 90s. And of course, you can see he's playing Boy Willie. Look at his eyes. Look at his eyes, Coach.
Oh, man. Hey, but here's what's so funny, Val. When you get those movies done so many years apart, and the people forget about the original or the remake or something, then it's good because it's been so many years. Like Roots was so good, you couldn't possibly redo Roots, even though they've tried, right? You just can't match that. But when you got those movies that are made 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, then they try to outdo them even 10, 20 years ago, the movies is still so new, you can't do it. You got to, because the original is sometimes the best. In this movie here, I had heard about it. And then, of course, Mo talked about it a little bit this morning, on the Broadway side. But, and I was going to wait. And then you told me, man, go watch it. Man, I cut it on and I just couldn't stop watching it.
I thought I did the same thing. I was only going to watch like maybe 15, 30 minutes of it. And then before I realized an hour and a half had gone by. And then if the phone didn't ring, I would have still been in it. And I want to say the crown jewel of this particular film is this young actress right here. This is Danielle Detweiler. She is phenomenal in this. You
playing the sister.
one word and you know what you it's all over her face.
Oh yeah. Hey, I don't have to worry about an argument. I know where to go get one at. and she was dead set. You can do whatever you want to do, but you ain't mess with that piano. I don't care what you do.
Exactly.
But you know what was amazing, Val, was this to me. They played the 1800 role, but the part that really got me and really drew me in was when Samuel Jackson went back basically to the beginning of the movie and described all the way up until the house got burned down and how Pops escaped and got away. And to draw reference to his daddy, who then carved his mama and everybody else on that and gave the white woman what she wanted. She wanted her chiclets. She got them in a piano. She didn't get them for real, but she was happy with that. And it's amazing the time that we live in. And even a movie like this, which is valuable and very important, would probably be ruled out in the state of Florida, which is amazing. And this was only almost a history lesson.
I know. And the one thing that I was most touched by is you have the brother and sister, which is Bernice and Boy Willie, and you could tell which parent they were most closest to. So Bernice was close to her mom,
right?
And she's the one who played the piano. And then it was Boy Willie being raised by or close to his dad. And and the actor that plays his dad has been in a couple of things. Stephen James. I've actually met him in person when he did. I want to say that there was a film called Jesse where he was playing Jesse Owens. So
yeah, I remember Jesse.
Yeah, that was a really good film with him in. But
when the character right there, the guy that's standing with her. Oh my God! The funniest part, one of the funniest parts to me was that day they went and hustled all day long and sold all the watermelon and got paid. And then he let his uncle hustle him out of all his money, selling him a suit and a pair of shoes. I thought that was the funniest.
Well, the guy told him, and this was Winning Boy. Winning Boy told him, played by Michael Potts, this is a magical suit. And he was at the club trying to, I guess get with somebody or whatever, but it did become magical. But we won't say who. You guys need to go ahead and watch it.
Yeah, gotta watch. Gotta watch. You gotta see it for yourself.
But do you recognize this is Ray Fisher in this scene right here with Danielle? Do you recognize Ray Fisher, the actor?
I didn't. I didn't even recognize him when I seen him. I was trying my best to place him in some movies, but I couldn't.
So he's most famously known as Cyborg from the Justice League.
I really wasn't a big Justice League person.
Yeah, and I wasn't a big Justice League person either. And then he was also in Women of the Movement, True Detective, and but the biggest parts that he was in was he was in the DC universe. I guess if he was in the Marvel universe,
it would have been the Marvel universe. And hey, that was big for a while. That Marvel universe was killer for a while.
Right. And the DC, but here's the thing: there's people that are major DC fans as well. But I was thinking, if I don't recognize you, then you're doing a great job. Who makes a cameo in the film? Did you see her? Did you see Miss Erica?
No, don't spoil it for me yet. I'm halfway there. I had a game tonight, but I had to get off of it. So, and this is probably one of the most laid-back scenes or laid-back movies I've ever seen Samuel Jackson. It's probably the easiest money he made. Stayed in one house, one chair, walked a couple places, ran up and down the stairs a couple of times. He was it.
Well, think about it. Think about it. The plays are literally in one area,
Room.
which is the
Yep.
living room. And I
You're right.
always wonder, how are you going to adapt it to screen? And so they said, Malcolm Washington said that they wrote in the scene about them selling the watermelons and hustling
Wow.
that and doing that thing.
Again,
So
that's
mhm.
that ad lib. If you're going to do it, it's great because you got to think back in the day. That's what we did. We worked in the gardens. So what else are you going to sell? Vegetables.
Exactly. Right. And they were hustling it, and they made their money. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, $5 was a lot of money back then.
Man,
And this is
let me tell you something.
1936.
You know, it had to be a lot of money if he paid his niece a dime just to play the piano. I'm like, a dime? Boy, you better come up there with at least $5. Oh, you put my hand down here and play this piano. Come on, man. Something.
Oh my gosh. So Erykah Badu makes an appearance, makes a what do you call it, a cameo in this. But yeah, but what I will say is that I'm hoping, I don't know if it will, but I'm hoping. And what we were talking about on, I think, Clubhouse is just kind of the fascination of, you have your dad, you have Denzel Washington releasing a film, Gladiator, and then you have your sons. You've produced on this, your sons and daughter. I think her name is Katie. They produce and do the piano lesson, and this got released to selected theaters and then released through to Netflix over the weekend. But like I said, I have to say, I got very emotional toward the end. And since you haven't seen it, I won't spoil it for you, but it's emotional because I'm thinking, I miss my people. I miss my ancestors. And whether you realize it or not, and this is one of my favorite scenes, is where Boy Willie is kind of teaching his
That's what he paid.
niece.
That's what he gave her the dime. That's what he gave her the dime. Like, I'll pay you a dime to play the piano.
Yeah, to do that. But it's just kind of that fighting to keep the family together. And even if it represents, even if keeping the family means putting it together in a piano, the colors of red, white, and blue, that's like seen at the beginning of the film, where you have the piano making an exit of sorts. And
Right.
and I was just thinking to myself, like, what we took things that were horrible, that was happening to us, being sold off, all of the rest of that, and we take our talents and we carve the faces and things of our people in a piano. That makes it so very, very valuable. Mm-hmm.
Well, let's go. We can take it another step. When Samuel Jackson, right, explained that story, the family, and what everything happened and all that. When you got a situation like that, remember, they sold us for a freaking piano. They lined everybody up, and they sold four people for a freaking piano. So imagine you were 4.5. So you was just a piece of freaking property. That's all he's ever thought about us. And so, Val, let me tell you something. This thing became so spiritual, and I'm not joking. Sent my mind back racing. My grandmother was born in 1929, and I was watching this and fell asleep. And you remember the scene when after they were trying to take the piano out of the house, and the clock started going crazy. And I love Samuel Jackson trying to take that piano out. That piano put on extra weight. The moment they tried to pick it up, that piano was holding itself down. Because I don't care how many picked up, that piano was spooked. And in the dope, of course, they kept seeing the spirit walk through the house. Girl, I dozed off, and the scene that the sister came in and started screaming, I fell asleep, and I heard my grandmother yell at me, Tony. Huh? I looked around my own house. What?
Tony.
Girl, hey, girl. I looked around my house like, hold up, who up in here? Hey, Doke, I know you ain't came out. Hey, don't be playing with me. I ain't got no piano. Don't be playing with me. We're gonna be fighting. Trust me. I looked around. Hey, Val, I had to put it on pause, Val, and do one of these, huh? I'm looking. I'm trying to see if the curtain's moving. I'm trying to see if anything was going on.
You were cracking me up here.
Man,
I'm just
the
thinking,
funny
like,
part
what
about
is
it,
happening?
the funny part about it, it was in broad daylight.
Oh my God. So that was your ancestors tapping your shoulder. Now let me mention this. The main part of the movie takes place in 1936. So I said a
Yep,
little bit earlier that year is very special to me. Why? Because
because your mom.
this young lady, because my mom showed up in 1936, and specifically, if you're able to see the month and the year that they're in. So they're in July of 1936. My mom had not been born yet. She was born the following month in August.
That's
So
why
I
I
was
like to
just
see
like,
a Leo.
yeah, exactly. So I was like, oh my gosh. And then just kind of that brother and sister push and pull of, I have a very good reason for wanting this piano. And then of course she has a very good reason for keeping the piano.
Correct.
And yeah, but what needed to
Tell me,
happen.
I'm gonna sell my half. How you gonna say I have the piano? Boy, shut up.
Well, they might get Madeir, and Madeir could like saw it in half like he did the thing.
Yeah. But they'll probably do that, but she's 6'4" though.
He's 6'4".
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, but like I said, this has been a very, I want to say, it's been a family affair. It was really good seeing Corey Hawkins in here playing the Reverend
Yes.
Avery. It was really
Yeah.
good seeing
When I
him.
saw him, I was like, yeah, but he's still trying to go on a date.
Exactly. He wanted Bernice to just loosen up and
Hey, I
let's
want Bernice. I
go.
need to lay hands on you, girl. I need to lay hands. He's
He
unchanged. He's
The preacher
unchanged,
needs love too.
man. He should have worn that lucky suit, man.
Now that's funny. You have to see the movie. We are not telling you about the lucky suit. We're not telling you about it. You have to see it. But
Right.
here is you have Danielle in the middle, but it's Malcolm, his sister, and John David Washington. It's the Washingtons. They're all there at the premiere of the piano lesson. I'm like, they really made this like a good, great family affair.
So,
I love it.
Who does the Washingtons remind you of?
Oh, the family?
Yep.
That's a good question. And you're talking like famous and entertainment family.
Yep.
Diana and Tracy Ellis Ross.
Nope.
Okay. All right. Let me think. The Jacksons.
Nope.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna get off music. Let me go to acting. Who is a famous actor family? You got me stumped. Who are you thinking about?
The Wayans. You know.
Oh, okay.
Damon and put his whole family on the same way, but in the comedy business, and they pass it down to generational wealth. And I'm not going to pay you and give you this money. I'm going to teach you and show you what I'm doing. And you either can make it as a comedian or you don't. I'm about to give you the blueprint. I'm about to tell you how to make people laugh. I'm about to produce a movie. I'm going to put you in it. And you make it or you don't. But the Wayans and before the Washingtons came up, the Wayans did. I mean, David put his oldest sister on in Living Color, and then they floated from there. They've been balling since then. And their biggest movie ever was White Girl. When they dropped White Girls, it was a wrap. That put them on top of the world. White Chicks.
Yeah.
That put them on top of the world. And then they started playing police figures and comedy shows. They always stuck in the comedy side. And of course, he tried a couple dramatizations, but the Wayans, and I love it. And everyone knows because Val, if you're my little sister and we're podcasting, and I'm a famous podcaster, and you're getting started, it's my job to show you the ropes. Don't do this, say this, don't say that. Look like this, don't go like that, smile like this, don't smile like that, laugh at this, don't laugh at that. I'm gonna give you as much of the ropes as I can. And it's up to you then to apply it. And if you don't, that's on you. I gave you the test.
hmm And I
And
think what's
that's
most
what
what
Washington does.
and I think that's what's most important about the whole family lesson, the whole the piano lesson. It's ironic that there's a family behind it that's in it. And Paulette Washington is in the film. Did you know that?
I didn't even
She,
pay attention to that.
yeah, she doesn't have a speaking role. She is portraying and let me see, because according to Internet Movie Database, because that is my information, that's my encyclopedia for all actors. Pauletta Washington plays Mama Ola. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So
That's
it's a like I said, it's a thing,
It's a,
but I don't think
hey,
she has a speaking role
how your
though.
boy Sly and the Family Stone said, it's a family affair, right?
It's a family affair.
Okay. Give y'all one on that. That's old school, baby.
Yeah, so I'm like I said, I'm gonna be. I checked it out, and then also the great thing about the what is this called? The film on being on Netflix. If you allow it to get to the end, what'll end up happening is that Netflix did a 30-minute breakdown, sit down with Denzel Washington, with
Oh wow.
Malcolm Washington, with David Washington, with Daniel Detwire. Like all those guys are there to talk about the film and the
Oh,
effect
that's
of
cool.
the August Wilson effect, right? Because this gentleman has been writing and producing plays all the way up until his death in 2000, I think 2005. So he is um, I want to call it one of the champions of black. Um, no, let's not just limit it to black American theater. And for him to win a lot of awards like the Drama Desk Award um, and then the actors winning awards, Tonys behind it, like a lot of excellent actors cut their teeth in acting and being in an August Wilson play. I still say to this day that our very own Black Panther, Wakanda Forever,
Honda.
Chadwick Boseman should have won the Oscar for his role in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. That was an August Wilson turn play into a film, and I'm like, why didn't he get it? But it's
Oh,
all good.
and we get done like that. And then the unfortunate piece is that he didn't make it to part two. You
Exactly.
know,
Exactly.
that's unfortunate. But we get done like that. Like you can't tell me off the script here that Shabuzi, which means you just talking about everybody in the club getting tipsy, right? The new country song. And he's nominated for like buku categories: album of the year, top 20, top 10, top 5, 6 weeks. You hear the song everywhere. And he's in
Mhm.
every nomination from best song to best song written to best song vocals and whole 9 yards. And he comes to the CMAs last week, and don't
Mhm.
get one award, not one. Come on, CMAs. You hear from me, Coach Tony. Come on, CMAs. And you wonder why
Uh,
Beyonce didn't show up.
yeah, that was kind of a horrible shutout, and that's something that we definitely would like to talk to, and like I said, I'd like to do some investigation to find out the ratio of people of color that are nominated in the country music category, because I felt like Charlie Pride and a few other artists kind of broke through
Yep.
in that lane. Ray Charles recorded country music. He did not. I think Georgia was considered country, but
It was.
it was
But
considered
because
country.
of the nature of the song and how it was, and you just coming out the back of Gladys Knight, Midnight Train to Georgia, they didn't put it in that category.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's the hard part about. And let me ask you a question, Val. This is a very good question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at piano lesson and looking at the historical debut and looking at the history behind it, where do you put a movie like this in terms of value for our young kids, in terms of value in African American, where we're learning about, basically yesteryear, you know, this is a movie about a piano, but it wasn't a movie about a piano. It was a movie about how the piano became the piano,
Right.
and that was amazing. And
I,
generations of people were behind this piano, right?
mhm.
Mama, the daddy, the slaves, the people that did everything. It's captured on a big picture on the side of this
Mhm.
piano. But at the end of the day, that piano basically owned itself. And I laugh, Val, because I remember as a kid, and this is no joke. I remember as a kid going to my grandmother's house in the early 70s, and they had outhouse. They had a well just like that they would
Wow.
dump, and I would go out in the backyard, and it was funny because I was from Chicago. I'm like, what's this big old hole in the backyard? Boy, get away from that before you fall in that damn thing. Didn't know there was a well. And I found out, doing a couple of things. So it was amazing to watch a movie, and it was all about who pushed who in that well. Remember?
Right. And what was the question you were going to ask me, because you went off went off
My
went
bad.
off.
The
Yeah.
question I was going to ask you is, looking at how history has changed itself, what do you think a movie like this would be able to do with our younger folks learning history?
Hmm. Well, one of the things that is important for our young people to know and to understand is where our history comes from. That to me
Right.
is that's very, very important. I feel like there's now 50 to 60 years since the civil rights movement, which was in the
Yep.
60s, the decade you came here. And I'm thinking, I don't want to forget, because I don't want us
Right.
to go back. And I think this film is very timely. It's right on time, especially after dealing with a very, tumultuous election year. I think if we can remember from whence we've come from, and to honor our family, our ancestors, especially now coming into the holiday season. One thing I thought about, and I think that's what made me cry, was knowing how my mom left Jim Crow South, that for her was Arkansas, to make
Yep.
a better life for me in Chicago, and there were
My
millions of
mama did the same thing from Alabama.
there were millions of American blacks that left the South to do better and to be better. And the thing of it is that you don't want to, what do you call it? Forget the past,
Correct.
because it gives you a precedence or a blueprint for the future.
But
And
it's
if
hard
you
for
know
some of
where you
those
come
people.
from,
Like my
Mhm.
mama wouldn't watch a movie like this, Val.
Your mom wouldn't watch a movie like this.
No, so my
And
mom ended up being
my mother wouldn't watch Selma. I told my mom, "Hey, mom,
correct.
don't you watch Selma?" And she said, "No, I lived through it. I'm not trying to see that. I'm good."
Exactly. And we were close.
Mhm.
For those that don't know, my family were very close knit into that. My relative, his brother, Abernathy, that was with Martin Luther King. My
Mhm.
grandmother knew Rosa Parks. We had some close knits in that Atlanta and Georgia, Alabama situation. And my grandmother wouldn't watch a movie like this because it would bring back too many bad memories. Because
Mhm.
my great great grandmother, I remember as a kid, was the last slave of the family, and she would. I
Wow.
never get the funniest thing in the family. Val, I think I was a kid. I came up with home with a book one day, sit on the porch, call myself reading, and it's like, "What are you reading, boy? History book. Let me see that book, baby. Let me see it." And I put it in her hand, Val. She said, threw it across the yard. Well, I was losing my mind. She said, "Do you want to hear history? Sit your butt down. You see that tree over there?" I go, "Yeah." "You see those marks on that tree?" I go, "Yeah." "You see that big old hole?" I said, "Yeah." "That was a whipping tree." "What you talking about?" "So you see them shackles on the other side? Your uncle such and such got whipped. The boys right here got whipped." I'm like, "What?" "That was a whipping tree that the KKK would bring out when they want to grab a black man and prove a point. They would put their hands in the shackle around the tree, take the whip out, and whoop them on the tree." So it was amazing. And that's why, as I got to school, Val, I was such a big history buff and political science buff, because it wasn't the fact that I didn't like everything else. I was just so tied into my own personal family, because my family was so tied into the movement. And
Mm.
And when I got to Chicago and making a move around there and learning, then it became what was going on with Jesse, right? And in the coalition and the rank with
Right.
the rainbow. And you know, and it was amazing. And when you see movies like this, you know, I make my kids, I make the baby, I make the grandbaby. I make them sit down and watch this. Because I want you to ask questions. I want you to know. Because I'm telling you, Val, what's going on. Our kids are going to go to school and ask those questions that the teacher can't answer. And the reason why the teacher can't answer is because the books have been taken away. So the teacher
Right.
is going to be left powerless and can't answer a question that an African American kid wants an answer to. And then they're going to put the kid out of class thinking that the kid is being a smartass, and not. They just simply want knowledge. And so, you know, when you got a movie like this, I think it's absolutely. I think they should come out with 1 or 2 more movies like this at the holidays. You know why?
Why?
Because kids are out of school and people are off work. So people at home looking for something to do. Sit your butt down and learn. Ain't that what KRS-One said? You must learn. Just like I told you, you must learn. Come on now, don't get me started.
Well, like I said, I think. Go ahead.
No, because the movie is free. It ain't like you got to pay for popcorn and pop to go to the freaking movie theater. You ain't got to sneak your own chicken wings in like Tony Tone do.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. But anyway, I wanted to make sure that I did this, and I don't think you're expecting this, but anyway, the piano lesson, it's available on Netflix and it is playing in select theaters, but get with your family, ladies and gentlemen. Get with your family. I took this picture over the holiday. I took this picture during the summertime. These are your babies, right?
My baby. That's my baby girl, my oldest to the left. That's my girl Ashley. Love her to death. I want to choke her half the time. And but I love her. And that's where my 2 granddaughters come from, Skylar Mama and Olivia. Skylar is 7 years old. Olivia is about 20 months right now. And that's my mini me right there, Tony Tone. Little Tone is a senior studying what we're doing, Val, over in the mass media production journalism area at Middle Tennessee State University, full scholarship, and and entering his senior year.
Yeah. So, like I said, family is important. Family is important, and I hope that you guys, on behalf of myself and Coach, that we really want to wish you a very, I want to call it a very safe and happy Thanksgiving. Here's a little bit of my family here. Now, my mom is to the side, but those are her 2 sisters, my Aunt Gloria and Aunt Det, and my cousin Ko that lives out in Cali.
In Cali, Ko.
Cali Ko. Exactly.
Tell him I said. Say, Coach Tony call you Cali Ko, baby.
He would get a kick out of that since he's from the west side of Chicago. West side. Well, we want to wish you guys a very
always got to put family first. You make them understand, Val. Make them understand.
But I'm telling you, it has been a phenomenal show, and like I said, I'm gonna be checking it out. I have the what do you call it? I'm gonna go ahead and see some things. I'm gonna make sure that I check out Wicked as well as Gladiator 2. I've heard some great things about it. I was talking about that before you came.
Gladiator 2, yes.
Yeah, gotta see it. But next week we have the Pull Up Podcast show. What's happening?
Man, let me tell you something. I've been waiting for this young lady to jump on my show. I got a major project. I've been working. I got Miss WNBA veteran coming on the show, and Miss Rusha Brown, who just happened to have a situation she had to go through last night, surgery. So that's why she wasn't able to make the show. So we pushed it back. So next week, make sure you don't meet me there. I keep telling y'all that. Get to the studio and beat me there. But more importantly, I want to make sure, I know you guys kind of trickle in my usual. Let's blow the show up, guys. I wanted you to do me a favor. Holidays are coming up, and I'd like to send out a $50 gift certificate if we can hit more than 100 people online. So that means everybody that's watching this show, send this out to 10 people. And make your 10 people send it out to 10 people. And then those 10, the same thing. I want 100 people or more on this show Monday for Miss Rusha Brown. Show her some love. She's major. If you don't know who she is, as they say, Val, Google me. Rusha, Rushia Brown, Rusha Brown. Big time, WNBA.
Wow. All right, there we go. So that's going to be kicking off December. Yeah, yes. December 2nd. December 2nd. I can't believe this is all happening. We are.
Hey, if I see Santa Claus coming down the chimney, we got a problem. I'm gonna call a DJ Save My Life.
And of course, the audio podcast is available. Madam President deferred the morning after. You guys go ahead and check out the audio episode. I'll go ahead and place the link of that in the chat. And of course, a DJ saved my life. I got the merch. On. Yes, I do. I'm so happy. I got the merch on.
But you go ahead. I need a hat. You know me, I'm a Mad Hatter. You know they call me in school. You know I was a Mad Hatter. I need a hat.
So let me type this in. Discount is going to be Interludes, and that'll be for a 10% discount for the book as well as anything else on the site, which we have t-shirts and some other things. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the room chat. Those things that'll be coming out on tomorrow. And this to celebrate. We don't want to call it Black Friday. We'll call it red. We'll call it Pink Friday. We'll call it pink. We'll call it any other color but Black Friday. But it is our Pink Friday special discount Interludes, and you'll get 10% off of the ebook and all the other merch that's on purelighthousemedia.net, which is really, really cool. I'm excited.
I love Black is beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Black is beautiful.
Black is beautiful.
We just ain't gonna call it Black Friday. You know what I'm saying?
No Black Friday. We'll call it Pink Friday or Purple Friday. Yeah, make it
red.
purple.
I told you I don't like that purple. Red Friday, man. Crimson Friday. Get off that purple.
Here we go. But have a wonderful and blessed happy Thanksgiving, everyone. And please take care of your friends and family. And
be safe.
If you don't have a place to go, call up your friend and show up with a turkey and some dressing or something. Show up.
Now, I don't know if you need to show up with no turkey because people, but you need to show up at least maybe with a bottle of wine. I done said this in the past, or a bottle of bourbon. Knock on the door, ring the doorbell, like, hey, I'm here. And when you ring the doorbell, you know everybody got these doorbell cameras right now, so I'm gonna show you how to do it. You ring the doorbell, and then you hold up and he's like, I'm here. And they're gonna see that bottle of wine, a bottle of bourbon, they're gonna let you in. But if you show up like this, ding dong, and with your hands crossed, they're gonna say, shh, everybody be quiet. Don't say nothing. It's gonna be like Halloween night. Ain't nobody gonna come to the door. You'll be like, now wait a minute. All these cars in the driveway, ain't nobody home. No, Val, we were in the backyard. We ain't hear you ring the bell. It was 22 degrees outside. Hey, we was in the backyard.
Don't show up to Thanksgiving without something in your hands.
Don't show up empty-handed. I'm telling you right now, you ain't getting in my house. You better go on. As they say, Val, you better go on.
There it is. All right, we'll see y'all next week. Peace. How has it been literally going into your wellness lane and definitely talking about how people can go from, oh my gosh, my mind is everywhere, to focus, like knowing exactly what they need and how they need it?
One thing that I have noticed, we need to champion ourselves. That's why I focus on midlife women. A lot of times in midlife, that is a turning point, and we really need to champion ourselves to understand, no, we have a purpose. There's things in you that needs to be shared. And that is my mantra. That is my mission, because you need to know that you can win.
Please join her. Infuse the Focus Talks with Letitia. It streams every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central. So glad that you're able to come back and close out with us.